Hi everybody, it's Jade. I just wanted to read the rest of the story. This is My Nightmare Chapter 7, Conclusion. I finished my breakfast and brought my plate and silverware to the sink and rinsed them off and set them aside since Mom says it's less work for her or whoever cleans up. I went back to get the glass into the sink after I rinsed it off. But I remembered what my uncle had said only about 45 minutes ago. I turned with tears in my eyes and dropped a glass on the floor by mistake. "Oh, Rachel," my mom said disapprovingly. I'm sorry, Mom," I said. "I told you we shouldn't use these nice glasses for breakfast," Mom said to Dad. "Honey, it's not a big deal," Dad said, shrugging. I bent down to help Mom pick up the glass. I screamed, "Ah!" then fainted. "Oh, Rachel!" Mom cried. "Honey, is she okay?" my dad asked. My uncle went over to me. "Rachie," he said softly, as he lifted my head up onto his lap as he was kneeling on the floor. My dad picked up what was left of the glass and threw it away, while my uncle and Mom were keeping their eye on me. He came back. "Everything okay?" he asked, sounding concerned. "She's still out," my uncle said. "Do we need to call 911?" Mom asked. I moaned softly as I came to. What happened?" I asked softly as I slowly opened my eyes. "There she is," Dad said. My uncle brushed my hair to the side. "We were worried about you, Rachie," he said as he looked into my eyes. "Oh, Rachel, I'm so sorry, honey," Mom cried, with tears in her eyes. "It's okay, Mom," I said as I went to sit up, then saw the blood on my hand and almost passed out again. "Oh no, lay down," my uncle said. "Just lay back and don't get up for a bit," he added. Dad grabbed the first aid kit and brought it over to where I was laying. He got out what he needed. "Okay, Rachel," he said as he looked at my hand. My uncle turned my head away gently and looked into my eyes. "It's okay, Rachie," he whispered. "Ow!" I yelled. "Sorry, babe," Dad said. "I had to pull that piece of glass out," he told me softly. "Do you think she will need stitches?" Mom asked. "We'll see once I get this cleaned up," my dad said as he worked to clean up the wound. Mom put the glass that Dad took out of my hand into the garbage. She came back over and put a towel under my hand and wrist. "Thanks, hon," my dad said as he finished cleaning it up. "I think you'll be okay, but if it bothers you too much, let us know and we'll take you to the hospital," Dad said as he bandaged it up. As he finished wrapping it up. After I rested a few minutes, they wanted me to get up. My dad helped me up as my uncle put his hands out behind me and got up slowly. "There you go," Dad smiled. "Thanks, Dad." I stopped. "What's wrong?" Dad asked. "Are you going to faint again?" Mom questioned. I'm fine," I muttered as I looked down. "Maybe you should rest a while," Mom said as she patted my shoulder. "Yeah, I'll do that," I mumbled softly, then walked upstairs. I heard them talking as I continued walking up the stairs. Just then I heard my brother crying. I was supposed to watch him this morning while my mom did some yard work, and Dad and Uncle worked on Dad's car. "Don't worry, Rachel. I'll take care of your brother," Mom said to me. "Okay," I called back down the stairs. I finally got to the top of the stairs on the top floor. I went to my room. I lay down on my bed. I melted into a puddle of tears. "How could they not tell me?" I sobbed as I thought how I couldn't even say Dad before I came upstairs because it made me so sad. I thought to myself, how could they not tell me? I thought as I lay there crying. Mom came into my room about 10 minutes later. "Hey," she said softly as she walked into my room. "Hi," I said almost in a whisper. "Are you okay?" Mom asked. "Why?" I wondered. "Looks like you've been crying," she cooed. "Oh," I remarked. "Is it about the wound? Or maybe the bad dream? Or is it something else?" Mom questioned me. "I'm fine, Mom," I murmured. "Rachel, you can say anything. We're supposed to have open communication," Mom replied softly as she sat down on my bed. "Oh, really?" I asked sarcastically. "What's up with that?" Mom asked. Just then Dad knocked. "We're having a conversation," I yelled. "Oh, I'm sorry," Dad replied sheepishly. "No, Dad, it's okay," I called after him as I heard him walking away. He came back and walked in. "What's up, Buttercup?" he asked. "Yes, I was wondering that too," Mom said with a look of concern on her face. "Are you okay?" Dad asked me. "I'm just dandy," I chided. "Why are you talking with us this way?" Dad asked. "How could you? How could you?" I asked as I turned from my pillow to look at my dad. My face was red. "Honey, what's going on?" he asked. "Adopted?" I asked. "You adopted me, but never told me? I thought you were my real parents," I cried. "I never once thought anything different," I screamed as tears fell down my cheeks. "Oh, honey," Mom whispered sadly. "Who told you that?" Dad asked, looking surprised and upset. "It doesn't matter," I replied angrily and stuffed my head into my pillow and cried. My dad left the room and closed the door. "You can't even admit it?" I asked. "How dare you not tell me? The least you could do is tell me that I'm not really yours. I think I'm old enough to know now," I sobbed. "Honey, I'll be right back," Mom said and left my room. I was so upset. After a few minutes, I finally got up and went into the hall and walked to the top of the stairs on the first floor. I heard yelling. "How could you do that to her?" I heard Dad yelling. "I was just joking," my uncle said, looking embarrassed. "You've really hurt us and Rachel," Dad yelled. "I promise it was only a joke," I said, trying to get my dad to calm down. "I don't care, you don't make jokes like that. Ever," he yelled. I just stood there. Then my uncle looked at me with anger. I just stood there. Then my uncle looked at me with anger, hurt, or something in his eyes. I felt so scared he would take it out on me later. I bit my lip as I stood there trying to decide if I should go back upstairs or stay there. "Don't blame Rachel," Mom cried. Just then, I ran to my room. Later, there was a knock on my door. It was my parents. I walked to the window and looked out. "Honey, we're so sorry," Dad cried. "We didn't mean for you to find out in such a terrible way," he continued. Mom was crying so hard she could barely speak. "Oh, Mom," I said softly. I went over and hugged Mom. "I'm so sorry for yelling at you and Dad that way, but I was so hurt," I cried as tears poured out of my eyes. Dad hugged both Mom and I. A bit later, after everyone had calmed down, my dad let me know that they'd told my uncle he had to leave. I was astonished and started to cry. "What's wrong? Do you want him to stay?" Mom asked. "Oh, Mom and Dad, I've been wanting to tell you for so long," I said as I cried. "What's wrong?" they asked. "Tell us," Mom encouraged me. I tearfully told them about what had been happening all those years since Uncle Carl had moved in about 6 years ago. As I was telling them, they were both crying. "We're so sorry, honey," my mom and dad cried. "If only we had known." We continued sobbing. Then we all embraced. Then Mom and Dad called the police, and they came and got my uncle before he could even finish packing and leave. Remember, sexual abuse is wrong. If you are being sexually abused, please tell someone you trust. It's not your fault. Do not blame yourself. Please do not keep it to yourself. Keep telling until someone believes you, please. Read the Word of God. He wants to save you and make you His son or daughter. You are worthwhile and worth living. Please do not kill yourself. Be safe, please. Hugs and prayers. Thanks for listening. Goodbye. If you want, I can share another story. Let me know, okay?